Hey everyone, given what's going on around the world right now with this virus, I thought it would be a good time to take a break from news and politics and go back to what this channel was initially intended for, to talk about mental health, anxiety, depression, thoughts of self-harm. If you're new to the channel, if you've never seen one of my videos, maybe you saw the title to this one and it caught your interest. My name is Vanessa, and for almost 4 years, I was a crisis hotline counselor. So I'm a certified crisis counselor and a suicide prevention specialist. So I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I can't diagnose you with anything, I can't prescribe you anything, but I can talk you off a ledge if you're thinking about hurting yourself. So one of the things that I used to do when I was a hotline counselor is help people who were having panic and anxiety attacks. They weren't suicidal, but they were in a state of, just absolute panic, hyperventilating, racing thoughts, stuff like that. And so being able to, step in and try to bring people back, act as sort of a tether and help them to process what's happening, deal with it, and then try to get on with their day. Because most of us have jobs and lives, and it really sucks when you have an anxiety disorder. And now, of all times, it's got to be even worse. Even the healthiest of us and the strongest of us are freaked out right now. So imagine if you know someone with an anxiety condition, or you know exactly what I'm talking about because you live with one, then for those people, it's even harder right now. And as I was talking about in my last video, it doesn't help that our media, our mainstream media, is so polarized that you can't trust anything that they say, especially in regards to what the president's been doing to try to combat this and what is even the reality of this illness. So one of the things that I would suggest for everyone, if you're particularly stressed about this, stop watching mainstream media to get your information about what's happening with this virus. And that goes for CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them. They all have an agenda. They're all working towards that agenda. And understand that agenda is not delivering the truth. It's not actually being journalists and just covering facts. They're all going to interject their own opinions and thoughts into what they're doing. And it's disgusting and it's sad. And this whole event is like the perfect example of how destructive the media is, how degraded they are, and just how useless they are when we actually need them. So on that end, I would say if you're looking for information, go to the CDC, go to Homeland Security, go to your local state government sites and see what they're saying. And even then, understand that you have to take everything we're reading about this, everything we're hearing about it, we have to take it with a grain of salt. And whether that's because we can't trust the source, or it's just that's the way things are. This is a fast evolving, changing sort of issue. It's something we're learning new things about every day. So just because an official may seem like they're not informed, or that they're giving wrong information, we don't necessarily need to immediately attribute, ulterior motives to them. They may just not have all the information they need, just like the rest of us. So, try to be as discerning as possible when it comes to the information you're going to take in about this actual situation. Maybe you need to turn off CNN for a little while. Maybe you just need to go specifically to these sites and look that stuff up there yourself. I've been reading a lot about this, and I'm not going to give any sort of information on that. I think that it is incredibly hard to trust the information we're going from. So the best thing that you can do is just build up the best defense that you can. And that will do wonders for helping your anxiety about this. Do everything you can to keep yourself as healthy as possible and the people around you as healthy as possible. And that's going to help you feel a little more secure. So you need to make sure you're drinking a lot of water. You need to make sure you're washing your hands. You need to make sure that you're taking vitamins. You need to think about taking vitamins that will boost your immunity. Vitamin C, zinc, echinacea, colloidal silver, other things that have been shown that they can help your immunity. Sleep is incredibly important, whether you are mentally at 100% or you're living with a mental health condition. Right now, particularly both for your mental and physical health, it is really important that you get a lot of sleep. Maybe even more than you normally do. So maybe you need to start working naps into your daily schedule if that's possible. Eat the best food that you can. And I understand that that's hard right now with grocery stores being in the condition they are. Right now, stores are still open, and for the most part, it's unfortunately, it's like the boxed, pre-packaged things that are disappearing from the shelves. Even though you may feel like it doesn't make sense, make sure you're getting fresh meat. You can always freeze that. Make sure you're getting fresh vegetables. Try to avoid processed foods, and particularly try to avoid sugar. Whether, sugar is one of the most detrimental things to our immune systems and just to our overall health in general. But right now particularly, and that's been the hardest thing for me because I have a huge sweet tooth. So I've been seriously cutting down my sugar, and it's hard. It's hard. So, those are some, doing those things to just physically care for yourself will help to ease some of the burden of the anxiety you have. The other thing you can do with anxiety, an active mind and body is one of the best ways to keep anxiety at bay and to try to keep that panic level down to a minimum. So you want to exercise. Like I said, that's really important. Exercising is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, physically and mentally. Yeah, sure, if you want to binge watch TV right now, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to, but I would use this opportunity to try to take advantage of the time you might have off. You could be developing stronger relationships with your kids who are home. You could be reaching out, calling your mom and dad every day. If you know seniors in your life, calling them every day, more than just texting. Because I know some seniors are into that and some aren't. But physically calling them and letting them hear your voice is really important, and it's really helpful. So, reaching out to people now would be a really great time to learn new skills. If there are things that you've always wanted to learn how to do that you've never had time for, you've got all the time in the world right now. And we all still have our internet connections. There is a wealth of information on YouTube and BitChute. And so maybe you want to get on there and learn how to, maybe you want to learn how to crochet, learn how to fix up your car yourself, learn how to change your own oil, little things like that, little things that you've always thought, I've always wanted to learn how to do this. Now is a great time. If you've got, and this is like a pie in the sky, but maybe you've got instruments in your house that are gathering dust. Maybe you have an old piano that you haven't touched in ages. Now's the time to start learning something and looking at this as an opportunity, not just a setback. So there's little things that you can be doing to really, help yourself. And staying connected is probably the best thing that you can do, especially for seniors, like I said before. One of the things I did when I was a hotline counselor, I used to work with adult services, and I used to talk to seniors all day. And so, even in the best of times, seniors are isolated, they're lonely, they're scared, they are unsure of the future. And so just imagine, if you felt like that all the time, imagine how it must feel right now when everything you're seeing on the news is just doom and gloom and, these worst case scenarios. So if you know seniors in your life, give them some extra special attention right now. And if you don't, maybe call up your local senior center and see if there's any way that you can help, understanding that we have to keep our distance right now, but maybe it is, walking them through setting up Skype, something as simple as that, so that some of these seniors can have face-to-face visits with their family members. Maybe it's asking, hey, are there any residents right now that don't have visitors, or that don't have family that they might want to chat with someone? Maybe it's even like, I will Skype myself in reading a book and, we can all read together. That's something you can also be doing with your friends and your family. If you miss socializing, maybe you all get together at the same time and you all get on the phone and watch a movie at the same time, the same movie. Maybe you all decide you're going to do a virtual book club. You all pick the same book. So, there's ways that you can still try to stay as connected as possible when we're all, supposed to be staying apart from each other. So that's just a few things. If you have any questions about ways that you can help, directly help yourself with anxiety, I'm here. You can ask. I'll do whatever I can to help you. There are different tricks that I have picked up in counseling that helped work people out of a panic attack. So there's things like that. But I want all of you to know that, it's okay if you're anxious. It's okay if you're scared. This is a really confusing, chaotic time right now. So cut yourself some slack. Keep your eyes on the future. Keep trying to stay positive. Stay as hopeful as you can. But ease up on yourself if you find that this is starting to get to you. So that's sort of some of my suggestions, just rambling off the top of my head, thinking about the other day I was reading the CDC and they had a whole article about anxiety and mental health during all of this and some of their suggestions. And so I'll put a link to that down below. On a personal level, just to take a moment at the end of this video, if you have not been following me on social media, I have my own stuff that I am dealing with right now on top of everything else with this virus. I don't know if you can hear my dogs outside going ballistic right now, but my oldest dog, my littlest dog, he's having some really bad issues with his teeth, and we're going to have to take him into the vet. He's there right now, getting some blood work done to make sure that he's healthy enough for surgery. But he is probably going to need to have some teeth removed, and it is really expensive. So I have started another t-shirt campaign to try to raise funds, but I would also, and this is the absolute worst time to have a financial emergency, but I just, I'll have a link to the t-shirt campaign, and if you can spare anything, if you want to donate directly, I'll have a link to my PayPal too. It's really uncomfortable for me to ask people for help, and that was why I did another t-shirt, because it just made me feel more like I was, selling something that I've made versus just asking people for money. If you are struggling right now, I in no way want your money. If you could share this, or if you could share the links that I'm going to attach with the t-shirt campaign with my PayPal, that would be just as helpful. I need whatever help I can get right now, and I feel so weird saying that and doing this, but it's just a really bad time for everybody right now. So any help you can give, I'd really appreciate. I'll have links below. And if you've made it this far, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're not too upset. I hope you're not too anxious. And if you need anything, you can always reach out to me in the comments. If you need to reach me privately, it's twofingersbourbon@gmail.com. I'm not always good at responding right away, but if it's a life or death thing, put it in the title. I will respond. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of everyone around you, and I'm going to have another video this week, I promise, I mean it, where I'm going to answer the most asked question I get about my time as a crisis hotline counselor. So keep your eye out for that, because I think that that is going to be important too. All right, everyone, be excellent to each other.